Hello and welcome to Family Dynamics. It's Katherine
And Liz.
And Ned. And John.
And we have a special guest with us. Our sister Rosemary has come in. Say hi, Rosemary.
Hello.
There we go. There's Rosemary. Hello. I love that.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, Rosemary, you're sort of my travel companion.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we recently went back-to-back weekends on girl trips.
I'm exhausted just hearing about it. Yeah.
It's like, where have you been?
And this was a new addition. We have a annual wine women's weekend.
Yes.
Because, I've stopped saying girls. Like, we have passed the threshold of girls. So I say ladies, which is a little more casual.
I like ladies.
Women is a little too what are we?
Serious.
Yeah.
Old.
Well, old. No, we are technically women. I just think it sounds so serious.
It is serious.
Not for, it does go well for a wine weekend. It's all W's. But ladies is where I like to sit.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had our ladies wine weekend.
Right.
And unfortunately, one of our good friends, Teresa, she basically could no longer come. So it was the kind of trying to figure out who would be a good blend.
A blend? Is that a wine joke?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was a sister blend.
Yes. Ed, come up with something.
The Pinot Noir sisters.
Oh, okay. Well, close. But it was one of those things where who would be able to come in and, you're a new person. Because I was a new person the first time I went maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was about 5 years ago.
Did
Wow,
someone
really?
drop
5
out?
years?
Yeah. Did someone drop out or did you have an odd number and you just thought,
I think it might have been longer than 5 years ago because I don't think Luke was in high school.
maybe not your youngest son? Maybe.
Yeah. No, we were ambitious and wanted 8 people, which is a lot to manage when you're all drinking.
Yeah.
So
And it was a big house with 4 bedrooms. So with 8 ladies, you could have 2 in each room.
right.
So you casually mentioned to me because it was your group of school moms.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
These are all ladies that you knew through Luke's class, right?
Yeah,
So
Luke's
your
class.
youngest, it's all those moms.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're a fun group.
Yeah.
But they were your friends. Only one did I know, Teresa, from high school.
Yeah, we went to high school. She wasn't in my grade or your grade. She
In
was
between us. She was
was in between.
the white part of the Oreo.
Yeah.
Which Rosie.
In the vanilla Oreo of all 3 of you.
Yeah, it
Vanilla,
really makes no
white
sense, yes.
Filling and vanilla.
Yes. So you had mentioned it to me very casually, what you were going to do that weekend. And I was like, oh, how fun. I would have wanted to go. And you're like, you would?
Yeah.
And then you made it happen.
Yep.
And I was a little apprehensive, well, am I crashing this party? Am I really going to be welcome?
Do you really get that concerned about that?
Only minutely.
Yeah, I'm because you always kind of do blend in well enough and don't seem uncomfortable.
Oh, blend.
Another blend.
But yeah, I just thought, I hope I get along or people tolerate
Not
me.
a bunch of bitches.
But
yeah.
well, I also know in a group saying like that, I'm going to pull back the personality, hold it back for a while because do you want to dominate?
Do that sometimes. You're like that, which is always odd when you do that.
I know you're like, what's wrong?
What's with her no personality right now?
This is not the authentic, full Liz we're getting.
She's taking notes about everybody.
I'm not. I'm trying not to be dominating.
Overpowering.
Yeah, because you don't want to come in all hot and you're a new person. It's that's annoying. Because you and I drove up together that weekend, the very first weekend.
Yeah, we did.
I think we may have had your girlfriend Stacy in the car. No. I think we might have
think so.
tailgated. This was like a bachelorette house. It was very big.
Very Tuscany style.
Yeah, a little very Tuscany, which was on
little
wine
dated,
theme. Yeah, but a little dated, but still fabulous.
Yeah,
So
it was
you know,
pretty cool.
If it was the Bachelorette, you just light a bunch of freaking candles and put flowers everywhere, and it would be fabulous. So that's exactly the vibe it had.
It sounds like a great show. Just all not bachelorettes having wine all month long and giving each other roses, and no one leaves at the end.
Oh, there'd be so many fights.
No one leaves.
Yeah, there'd be so many fights. But this backyard had a beautiful pool and jacuzzi, and it looked over sort of vineyards and
Yeah.
gorgeous. I was like, I'm coming on every wine trip if this is the standard.
All went down from there.
It really has. I mean, honestly, but we set a way too high of a bar.
And they never rented that place again. They're like, fuck these bitches.
We were so clean.
There was a couple things that happened. First
really?
of all, we were like, oh, we definitely want to have a fire going. It's like, don't use our firewood. We're like out there in the firewood pile, like totally use their wood pile. We didn't bust into any of their wine. I mean, clearly these people like lived there.
See,
That's kind of weird too.
Yeah, that's what's a little odd about the Airbnb. And what's the other apps you use?
Verbo, yeah.
You know,
I think there's really only
Craigslist?
2.
oh, God, maybe.
No.
Can you?
I don't think Craigslist has a rental.
Oh, it does if you look hard enough.
And then you get murdered there.
It's part of the deal. It's in the contract.
Yeah.
It's page 3.
In addition, service. So I think that it's odd that, it just becomes one of those things where you want the house to be like a rental house, like no one's living in it.
Yeah.
But these apps have made it like, hell, I'll leave for the weekend if someone's paying me $4,000 for the weekend.
Yep.
We'll go to a hotel for a nice night. So it's a little odd. I felt that house was almost a vacation home, like a weekend.
Yeah, no, I think it was more a vacation.
Not their
home,
full
not their
time
permanent residence.
But there were definitely closets locked because we tried every one.
Of course we did.
Looky Lou. You're just basically like, all right, okay, we'll respect the rules, I guess, to some degree. I don't remember the fireplace rule. Whoops. I mean,
know.
But the funny thing is we pulled up and, like I said, I'm number 8. I'm the last edition. You pull up and it's like one of our girlfriends, Tanya, who I love, is Ramona from Real Housewives.
She was so obnoxious.
She ran to get the master suite.
Oh my gosh, like ran into the house
Physically,
to
like
claim
practically
it.
knocked people over.
And I was like, what the fuck? We should have pulled straws or something. It was just like, why are you getting the second master? And then we ended up in like the kids, Jack and Jill, and it was bull crap.
We didn't even know there was a second master, because really how it should work is the person that put in all the effort to find the house gets the, primary suite, because I'm going to call it primary. So
Right.
primary suite.
Yeah, whoever booked it.
Yeah, you
should
did.
get
Absolutely,
preference.
because you made all, you put in all the effort. Mm-hmm. So, and then because you're sharing a room, fine, you pick your bunkmate, all good. But there was a second ensuite bedroom. So that was kind of prime, right? So she literally tackled people to get to it. And I was like, hey, Rose, I screwed you, because being the new person, I would be kind of, I know social grace is enough. Like, it'd be a little awkward. Like, I'm the new person, give me the best room. Like, no. So yeah, it was Tina, Teresa, you and I, like kind of stuck on the other side of the house.
I know.
In the junior suites.
It was like the 2 kids' bedrooms with a Jack and Jill in between them.
I didn't remember the Jack and Jill. I felt like there was just like a bathroom in the hallway that we all had to use together.
Well, we were also, because there was 4 of us using that one bathroom, and then so it was like we kind of tapped the powder so that we could kind of space out the makeup and actually using the bathroom.
Right. What's awesome in practically most wine areas now to go touring, you can hire a service to drive you around all day.
That's cool.
Because, I mean, hello, you can't really be drinking and driving. And our one friend is like, if the guy is pulling up at 10, she wants you standing outside at 9:59. You're like, oh my God. And
It's a little extra. It's like,
well, I get
difference
it,
does it
but
make?
you're like, we're sharing a bathroom with 4 women. You both have massive bathrooms that you're getting ready in. So we helped make breakfast, and now we're trying to get ready on top of each other. So we might be 5 or 10 minutes late. But that was a really fun trip, and that's how I met all your girlfriends.
right. You'd met
Yeah.
Stacy and
Tanya
before.
But not travel with them, which is
No, traveling's a whole.
That's another level.
right.
I mean, Tanya really, like, oh my God, she got under my skin so bad on that trip. She knows. I mean, I told her. But it was like, she was like, can you go get me a drink? What are we going to have for dinner? Can I have some extra salad? It was like, what am I?
No,
Like,
the best moment was so
she, like, literally did nothing.
yeah. And listen, I mean, you know,
Everybody's got to pitch in. And she was like, not doing shit.
That is what I will say is hard about Airbnb. It's not a hotel. So in order to make things happen, people have to do it. You want to eat, someone's got to make it.
And clean up. I mean, it's,
Oh,
it's the
yeah.
whole thing.
The next level up from glamping.
I mean, barely to some of the places we've stayed. So,
and we didn't go out to dinner either night.
which
that
was
year,
a mistake,
which we never did again.
because inevitably someone is just like, I am not participating. And it's so
But I'll eat it.
I'll eat it, and then I'm going to disappear when dishes need to be done. And I'm like, what the hell? And like I said, I'm the new person, so I'm like, whatever I can do to help.
Which is everything.
So now the evening's retired, and we all go to the main suite, which is huge. I mean, it was like 1,000 square feet. It was such a big bedroom, and it had almost like a movie site. Like, you
It
know,
had a huge TV and like a big L couch to watch in
Right.
the TV, and then some of the girls sat in the bed.
right. So we actually watched Girl Trip with like
Oh my
Tiffany
God, the
Haddish.
worst
and
how-
movie.
Jada
Oh,
Smith.
okay.
It's very broad comedy. We needed to be drunk or high, but okay, fine.
I thought it was funny. I mean,
And yeah, so no, I mean, it did very well. At one point, Tanya, who is, really been
Irritating.
waited on hand and foot, asked Rosemary then to massage her feet. Well,
What?
that's when
Oh.
Rosemary snapped.
I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "Take your fucking foot off my lap."
Oh my God, Rosie, my feet hurt. Would you massage my feet?
I'm like, oh my God,
I laughed
how about my whole
so-
everything hurts from cooking your dinner, getting the heater back on in this house, going and getting and chopping the wood with Liz. I'm like, can you just stop? Like, what?
I was like, and it really was a beat though. I'm like, oh my gosh, is Rosie going to do it? Like, is she,
oh my God, hell
a
no.
foot masseuse? I was.
I don't know why she even thought that
Oh my God!
was like
But,
gonna
and I
happen.
think you snapped at that point. And then she laughed. Like, oh my God, Rosie, you're right. And then you fast forward the next year, and she cooked the craziest dinner
she
as a
felt
makeup.
so bad because I gave her so much heat, like over.
Oh my God,
over
the
the year
next
of
year?
like just how ineffective and unhelpful she was with everything. So then the next year she's like, "I'm making dinner," and it was like we had like a big cheese platter,
This is the mistake.
and it was like nobody wanted her like ginormous sweet potato, and it was like, good Lord, it was like a huge meal for everyone. It was like, what is all this food?
Right?
And nothing was seasoned either.
No, I know it. She made up for it. She really put the effort in. But that next trip we did go out to dinner one night, and it was the second night because you're so tired from the wine day. You're like, we're not going to want to go out. Yeah, but
but
no one
cooking's
also wants to cook. So she was just cranking. I mean, like Rosie said, it was like on your plate. The length of the plate was a sweet potato, and the other side was the length of the plate was a chicken breast. It was
Big
just like,
piece of chicken.
this is like, what is happening?
And she
here?
didn't pound it out, so it was like thick, and it was just like
She got into it. She did it.
it was a lot.
well, wait, just to clarify, when we say wine weekend, so it starts on Friday. So
Right.
there's an evening thing on Friday, whether that's a in the house dinner or going out or whatever. And then
it's now almost always going out.
right. And then wine tasting all day Saturday, then stay also Saturday night. So it's like a big, it's 2 overnights.
And then sometimes these Airbnbs, they know why you're coming. They know the area, whether it's Los Olivos or Los Robles or even Napa. It's like a 10 a.m. checkout on Sunday is freaking like, are you kidding me?
That's a
rude.
little
And for
brutal.
what? Like, probably no one is coming.
And we've
So,
had-
They're like the
You have to
cleaners
do
are
the
going to be
cleanup
there.
yourself
You're like,
anyways
no,
at the
they're not.
Airbnbs.
Oh, yeah. Some of the lists are like, what is left for the cleaner?
You're
I
like,
mean,
they're like, get the sheets cleaned. You're like, no.
they start loads of laundry, run the dishwasher, take the trash out, wipe
Do
down
not
every
sleep
surface.
the night before. Start cleaning at 11 p.m.
It's a load of it. I mean, the list can be a little ridiculous, and then other places it's like, I hope you enjoyed your stay. Bye. So that's what I like.
There's no continuity. And that's, with renting a house, it's someone's home, whether it's part time or full time, so they can make their own rules. And there was a great ad for, I want to shout out Marriott or Hilton, but one of them showed someone like standing there, reading the house rules of an Airbnb. And they're like, why are we're going back to hotels? Like,
It's just
yep.
too much.
but
work.
some of these wine places, there's not really hotel options.
No.
Yeah.
There was a hotel they were building. They started before COVID in Los Olivos, like 2 years, like when we first went. And they just are now finishing it because they ran into all kinds of snacks. It's $1,000 a night.
That's a lot.
I mean, I was like, what? Because I was like, maybe we should just stay in there. I was like, nope.
That's a lot.
I don't know why.
Yes, but
so
it's
much.
an 8 bunk.
Oh my god, we
for
like
2 people.
Yeah, we
It's
like
a little bungalow.
we'd like 2 queen beds and 4 pullouts.
Then it will
Like,
be worthwhile.
they're like,
We'd like the pullouts to come out from each side of the bed. So it's a
God.
ginormous.
when we traveled, just the 4 sisters, we have gotten a room with 2 fuller queen beds and all crammed ourselves.
Oh,
in
yeah.
there, which is
Fulls are a little
it's
close.
interesting theory. In reality, it's a little challenging.
Well, it's also what
Right.
you say about like all of us trying to get ready in one bathroom. It's always like, oh God, this was a mistake. Yeah.
you got to map it out. Like, I shower
Time it out.
at night or time it out.
No.
Right? I shower at night. You're a morning person, so maybe it works a little bit, but I don't know.
I love you guys, but like you're not like sisters. None of you are combing each other's hair or helping with each other's makeup. It's all solo
No.
acts, right?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, I might consult on something. Katherine definitely plucked my eyebrows for a while, and Liz,
No, I'm
I'll be
talking like
what do you
now.
think? No,
No.
no. I mean, I'll ask what she thinks of an outfit for sure.
That's about the
That's
extent of
about
it.
the extent of it.
At this point, we should be closer. What's wrong with that?
Wait, so on the first trip,
Yeah.
you could correct me if I'm wrong. Was there the vibe that you felt a little nervous, just that being a sister coming into a friend group?
Oh, yeah.
There's a weird dynamic that you were nervous about, like, uh-oh.
Well, I felt a little bad because I realized that her friend Stacy, who had put the trip or, done a lot of the work putting the trip together, was going to be in the primary suite. And Rosie was probably going to be there with her.
Yeah, because we had gone on a
Sorry.
trip before. And I stayed
So
with
you
her.
broke up the bunk buddies
yeah,
or whatever.
we did.
Yeah. I
But
was like-
we bunked other times. We bunked this last trip. So it's
Yeah, well, typically, yes, Rosie. No, yes, we did. Because so now we're in about 6 years. So there's been various combinations of the women trips, but all Airbnbs. The one we stayed up in Los Arroyos, that was a pretty cool house.
last year.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool.
I didn't like the wineries that much. I mean, I liked that last winery, but like the whole, it wasn't very beautiful up there.
You
compared-
liked the last winery?
or was that the one we had lunch at?
I don't know. Because the thing is,
The real modern one that we went to.
bottom line, by the third one, I'm like, I'm done. So the first one, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. This is so relaxing. This is so beautiful. Second one, you're like, if I don't get some food in me, we're all going to lose our shit because we've drank and we need food. So you have food and you start relaxing. And then you're like, I really could use a nap. But now I got to power through the third. And you go to the third and you really are like, all this shit tastes the same. I could care.
Didn't you try and do 4 one year?
We did. Oh,
it was
yeah.
too much. It was like, oh, it's fine. It's delicious. I don't notes of berry. Who cares?
So
Like,
buttery. Give me some more.
It's got pear. It's got wood. It's got cedar. You're like, I don't know.
And that might have been one of the.
like, especially when they give
very
you a paper to
grapey.
fill out, you're like, I'm not actually going to
No,
take
I
notes
mean,
on
I
this.
paid to be here. I'm not giving you feedback. It was great. There was one year that it was sort of raining out, which was actually cool because you'd rather kind of be cold or chilly out. When it's really warm, it's kind of hard to deal. We've had that too. But it was raining out and they took us into, I don't know, some of these places like little miniature castles. And it's so charming. And we go through one room, it's so cool. And tons of people. Another room, it's so cool and
And all
charming.
these people,
Oh
there's
my
the
God, all
vibe.
this energy. And they take us down a flight of stairs. And it is like in a basement.
It's like a dungeon museum. It was so weird. It was a museum.
It wasn't like a wine cave because those are cool. This was like
like a bad,
and Rosie don't like, she wants the good table. You ain't not gonna stick baby in the corner. So
no,
she was
I
like,
was like, oh my God, this sucks so hard. How can we get back upstairs? Why are we down here? Where's the one? Like, I just don't even care. Let's leave. It was horrible. I was
so
like,
we had to go back upstairs and then it was like a free for all. But that reminded me of the time we went to this restaurant. Everybody was really tired. We're going to dinner and they're once again leading us through like the fun restaurant part.
Oh my
But we're
God,
like a
this is
table
so
of
funny.
8. So they only maybe have one big table. So they're leading us
but
through.
we waited a long time and we'd had a reservation.
Oh, and the best part was on one side of the restaurant was a wine store. So you could buy a bottle of wine for $20, $30. And so we bought one and they would let you just drink it as you're waiting. And the exact same wine on the wine menu for the restaurant was twice as much. You're
was
talking
kinda
about like
stupid.
10 feet apart in a doorway.
Oh, geez.
So, of course, our friend Tina just kept going and buying the wine. And then, it was crazy. But as we were walking in, we'd wait a while. We'd had a bottle of wine. We drank all day. So we're sort of toasted. And you can see there are large parties in the main part of the restaurant. So like, ladies, your table's ready. Please follow me. And you're like, oh, finally, thank God. And at this point, you're like, I'm going to be able to order immediately. Like I'm ready to go.
I have memorized the menu. I could wait tables
Pretty
right now.
much.
Close.
I mean, that's what you do when you wait that long. You're
Would you like to know the ingredients in the special tonight? Because I read enough about it. So we're walking through the restaurant and there is like a weird addition annex room that when I say like, what's a huge size screen TV?
It was like an 80-inch screen. It was
with
like
a roaring fire on it.
It was just like, is that supposed to create
It, like we're
ambiance?
walking into hell, like the burning fires of hell. You're walking
Nothing
straight
else
toward
of
it.
charm in this room.
No, except for a table with 12 people, half of them children losing their shit because at the end of the day, they're like, whoa. I thought, well, also because they're looking at a fire, like they're burning alive. So Rosie,
I was like, oh no.
so she's
We're not doing
about,
this.
there's maybe 2 or 3 people in between us, and I could see her like literally stop and jam up everybody. And it was her shaking her head. And the hostess is like, what? Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. What? And she was like, you're not putting me in that room. When I say like literally, it was like practically in real time walking into a fire, how big this TV was.
The theme for your dinner tonight is toasted. You're toasted, the restaurant's on fire, and your food is on fire. Enjoy.
El Furno. Yeah, it was just...
Well, I mean, it's like one of those things. It's like, I'm paying the same amount as everybody else in this restaurant, and you've put me in a room that has absolutely no charm.
Nothing to do with the restaurant,
Nothing
really.
to do with the restaurant. I might as well just order this food and take it home. I'd be happier. And it was like, we waited so long.
And we had a reservation. If we were walking, I would have been a little more malleable. But it's like, no, we had a reservation. We still waited 45 minutes past our reservation. And then clearly some of the bigger tables in the main part of the restaurant were, lingering. It's wine country. So they'd opened up like this secret room that is like awful and put this one big party at it. And they were trying to get us to go in there. And we were like, we refuse. So then we had to wait longer. And we finally got sat and it was a delicious dinner. But our friend Tina did keep getting up and going and buying wine from the wine
good
store.
And sneaky like that. She can even like pour, like one time we had a bottle of wine that we'd ordered. And then she had brought one and she somehow poured the bottle into the other bottle. So we did not get charged for a corkage or another bottle.
Or the blend that you just drank.
I know.
That's a special blend.
I mean,
only
this
made one
waitress is
time.
like, they are slow drinkers. Like,
I know. God, that bottle of wine has lasted forever.
it's a miracle.
Yeah, was Jesus somewhere around?
No.
I don't know.
One of you showing up with a wine bladder and it's like, man, she doesn't look so great this year. And then by the end of the day, you're like, you really shaped up. It's fantastic how you look now.
Pretty much.
Well, I think that's true for a lot of times with restaurants and me. It's like, where's the crappiest table you could possibly put her in? Like next to the, supply closet, next to the toilet, next to the, busing station. Put her there, like at Ruth Chris. You're like, oh my God. Like, I'm not going to pay for Ruth Chris and sit here. I will wait 2 more hours. Like,
as long as you're willing to wait, I think it's fine.
I think it's fine. But I always do get pretty shitty seats. Kirk has finally, and this happens in hotels too, he's finally relinquished saying anything. He's like, oh, she's not going to like that. Like, he just like lingers back there and waits for me to go, yeah,
No.
we're not going to sit there. Can we get somewhere else? Yeah.
My room said partial ocean view. This is the view of the parking lot.
Pretty much.
Yes, but
That's
it's
happened.
wet in the parking lot, so that's partial.
That counts.
Stick your head out around the corner of the balcony and you will see the ocean. You're like, no.
So we've had some fun wine trips. So fast forward to this year. Basically, when we're like, who should we bring? Who should be the new person? She asked someone right out of the gate that's one of the group's friend, but she wasn't available. So that was kind of a bummer. And then it was like, well, okay, who are mutual friends that we have that could maybe be up for this? Also, that aren't such huge dominating personalities because, we don't know what the trip's going to be like or what the Airbnb is going to be like. So it's like,
is this going to be up to snuff for certain people?
will they be able to roll with it? All that type of stuff. So we were really like, and then I think you were the one that suggested Katherine, our sister.
Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, what do you think about Katherine? I was like, it's her birthday
weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And I totally hadn't realized that her daughter was leaving on a trip at the same time. So that was kind of hard to manage, but she fed it.
Yeah, it was a little surprising. The timing was not perfect.
It's like you're almost never busy, and then it was like all one weekend.
Exactly. I'm almost never doing anything, and it just so happens that it's like, can you do it this weekend? I'm like, oh,
it's happening now.
Yeah. It's funny because I was talking to my daughter, Sarah, who was very out of character, had set up a trip for herself to go to Japan. Crazy.
It was shocking.
Story. I won't get into that, but it was that weekend. So she was leaving that Saturday, and you guys called maybe a week before or whatever and said, how do you feel about going? And I'm like, that sounds great. Because, it's funny. In the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, excited. Oh my gosh, they invited me. I never get invited to the girls' weekend because it is your friends.
Right.
And Liz.
I was an add-on.
Yeah, Liz was an add-on, but it's been going on for years. And, it makes sense that I'm not part of it. And you two for sure have your own vibe and dynamic and do a lot of things separate from the other people in the family. So, don't want to encroach on that. Everybody has to have their own healthy relationships, and God love you guys. So, but when you called and invited me, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay, yeah, yeah, I want to go. And then I said yes. I'm like, yeah, I think that'll work. And in the back of my mind, I'm already like, ooh, okay, Sarah's
Better run it
leaving,
by
and
Sarah,
and it's my birthday, so now I'm gonna also be gone on my birthday. Okay, that's weird, but whatever. Okay, so I hang up the phone and I'm like, okay, I think I talked to Sarah about it first. I'm like, so my sisters just invited me on their annual wine weekend, but I'd have to leave before you leave for Japan. I'd be leaving like the
night
Friday
before.
evening or Friday afternoon or whatever. And then I'll be gone the whole weekend, and Eric will be here by himself with Adam, which almost also never happens. So it's like he uses Sarah as a backup if I'm not around to pick Adam up or supervise Adam if he has something he needs to do or whatever. So I'd be like, okay. But yeah, I second guessed myself for a little bit. I was like, I don't know if I can go. I mean, I don't know if I have the right pajamas. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to wear. I'm going to be gone for my birthday. I don't think I have a good purse. I don't know what I'm doing. This is a disaster. I like to put like a little...
Wait, don't bring up that yet, because
Okay.
that is
all right. That's
very
a whole
classic, yes.
whole
What'd
nother
she do?
Catherine
Some
thing.
weird sleeping thing.
No.
No. It's going to be about the wine filters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that
because
was good.
going back to, I felt a little encroaching the first time I went as a sister, right? I'm like, oh my gosh,
Now it's three
half of the
sisters?
trip is going to be Killmond's sister.
It was half of us, actually.
It was
It
six
wasn't
of-
8. It was 6.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, because I said to Rosie, I go, before we ask Katherine, maybe check in with one or two of the women, just make sure they're okay with it, because people can have issues with their family, their sisters. I don't want to trigger anybody. We all know how to play it. We wouldn't have been like dominating, but just that element alone. So your girlfriends very graciously said, yes, include her. So
Oh, that's nice. I didn't even know that. But it does make sense that people have their own relationships with sisters, whether, they good, bad, whatever.
Yeah.
But it is kind of a little bit daunting to be like, oh, of the 6 people, it's going to be 3 who are sisters. I mean, they don't know that we get along very well, and we actually are pretty good at traveling together. We're not, weird and persnickety and going to give each other a hard time but they don't know that.
and that changed. I've bunked with you the last, shared rooms with you the last 6 trips. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to share a room with you because Katherine, that wouldn't really be fair to Katherine.
Oh my God, that would have been so weird.
No, I was like, so all.
Your new best friend.
And the bummer is, what that made happen basically? Rosie was the one that sort of put this trip together. So Rosemary was going to get the primary room. And now I'm at that primary room because I was
because this was the first time I booked
Really?
the trip.
Yeah.
So we hadn't gotten a primary
Norma and
room.
Stacy, right, yeah.
But we did get it that one time.
No, we've never
No,
gotten
we
it.
did. We did.
Where? What?
It was the COVID year. And it was because my friend Dominique came. And so we were going to share a room. And everyone else was bunked up. And so Stacy was going to have to share the room with Dominique. So we put them in the room with the 2 twins. And we took the master.
That was not.
Because it's weird to share a
Okay,
bed.
okay, wait. I will say, it's from the Bachelorette house. It's gone down to where I barely remember there being a primary main suite. I'm like,
Well,
did.
it was a weird primary main
Thank
suite.
you. I'm like, I really
Because,
don't think it was
literally,
amazeballs.
the bathroom didn't have a mirror in it.
Yeah,
Remember?
I'm like,
We had to
I
go,
don't remember
take
it being
from
that
the hallway.
glamorous.
No.
Yeah, we had the big room. I'm like, we did. So sure, okay, we did. So this year I was like, okay, and we were staying in Santa Barbara because a lot of times you go to these little wineries and at night it is dead as a freaking doornail.
Yeah, nothing to do.
So I said,
Crickets
Yeah.
after 8 o'clock. Yeah.
oh, and one year we got back into just the town part, right? And it was maybe 4:30. That's the end of people are done with their wine tour. So our driver was like, I'll take 4 of you or 3 of you home, and then 4 of you are going to stay in town. And we went to Carhartt, right?
Yep.
Wine tasting room. But we took an edible and we were so fucked up. Oh my God. It was so not good. I mean, I remember being somewhere and Stacy laughed and knocked over the whole table of wine. And it was
shit.
It was one of those moments you're like, okay, we're going to pick all this up and pick our asses up and get the hell out of here. We need to.
There's no getting the hell out of there. It was oh my God, there's not an Uber. To
And there's no food. Every little sandwich shop, restaurant was closed.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So we were starving high.
Chips. Chips at the
They were really
corner
good
store.
chips. They were really good chips. And then we were desperate to get in sort of a taxi or
She had the card from the year before in her purse.
a taxi,
She just found it.
not Uber, because those Ubers where we were come all the way from like another county. So it was like,
They come from like Santa Barbara.
oh Lord. So that was a little crazy. So this trip, I said, let's stay in Santa Barbara and then actually take the car the 30, 40 minutes into the wine country versus being
Yeah, that
in
was
there.
good. That was a good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've also gone on trips where we arrived Thursday. Did we do
Yeah.
that?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's when we had
Oh
a full
my
spa day on Friday.
It was not a spa, really. It was mineral baths.
No, but we had like massages.
And then we went to the mineral baths?
Yes.
Yes, you're right.
We had a massage together, and you just chatted away over there.
No, I did not. I do not talk during a massage.
You were chatty.
There's no way.
Yeah.
That's those things I really don't like to talk at all during a massage, unless I'm like harder, softer. I mean, that sounds, but the pressure. Other than that, I'm really not. I mean, I don't like. Okay, so I chatted a lot. I'm sorry.
No, but it was funny. I remember she found you very humorous.
That's probably why I have an audience. I can't stop. Oh Lord, shut her up. So then there was these mineral baths that sort of looked out over the vineyards.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. I mean, all of us ladies.
And then they gave us like a tasting that we had to like take down in a cart. We're like, what the fuck? We're like in our bathing suits, like going
trying to
down
balance
this hillside.
8 little like plastic
little,
cups on a tray.
like Dixie cups. We're
And
like,
what did they think we were going to do? The Syrah? I'm not really sure. As you're like,
We
it's
didn't
steaming
even know
bubble
what the
bath
hell.
around you. I feel like
it was pretty. It was kind of weird, and it like got super sunny and hot, and we're all like, ah.
oh yeah. And I gotta say, 2 of our girlfriends, well 3, they are the type, especially in the beginning of the day, if you're like, I'm not really liking this wine, like, and you normally, wine taste, you might dump it in a bucket. Or even some places are like throw it on the ground. You don't have to finish the glass because they've only given you like an 1/8 of a glass to begin with.
Right, a little splash,
because you're not
kind of.
supposed to get drunk.
A little 4-ounce something.
4 ounce, like a 1
No,
ounce.
it's like 1 ounce.
Oh, it's like
yeah.
1 ounce?
Oh,
But our friends inevitably are always like, no, don't in my glass. So they're sometimes it's
Don't
very-
care what it tastes like.
Yeah, it can be very imbalanced sometimes. By the end of the day, you're like, how are you so buzzed? But then I remember like, oh, some of the wines I didn't like, you just put it in my, which talk about a meritage or a blend. Holy moly. It was like, sort of like, wait, this is like a Cabernet into your Chardonnay. Like this
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Who cares?
So I gotta say, when we're tasting the wine out by the mineral baths bubbling up around us, it was like there was
I
no,
was like, no, thank you.
no one could taste what the wine was. It was ridiculous. So this year we went up on Friday. We didn't extend extra time,
No.
and we got to the house. You'd booked it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Well, all right.
Well, because it really it's so hard because I mean I've booked so many Airbnbs, and you look at every picture and you zoom in and you're like, what do you think of that bathroom? I mean, it doesn't look okay. And then you also like I always read all the reviews,
Right.
Because inevitably somebody will be like, this place is a pigsty. I don't know what the hell everybody else is talking about. And I'm like, oh, okay, that person's on my level. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm like a little persnickety and everyone else is like, it's so clean and beautiful. And you go, hell no. So everyone was like, it's so clean and beautiful. Like, it's so awesome. It's so clean. How many times? I thought I was delusional after the trip. And I'm like, I literally was lying in bed at the Airbnb going, I'm sure I read that. And I'm like reading it all. I'm like, no, there's not one negative review.
you went back and looked at the reviews
I did because
after?
I will read the 133 reviews. Like I will because
That's
somebody
why
will give
she
you that.
deserves the main suite.
Yeah. That's
But
the
somebody
work.
will
That's
give you
it.
that nugget where they're like, yeah, your freaking cat was all over the counters.
Well, it was in a beautiful part of town. So
Yeah, the location was
zip
really
code
cool.
was
wise, we were like, well,
multi-million
that
dollar
is
house.
actually more of a hand job. Sorry, but here's the deal: when you are booking a place, it is like what's that movie with John Candy?
Summer rental.
So, look at this neighborhood.
That is 121 West Beach Avenue. This is 121 East Beach Avenue.
Yeah, this was.
Oh, right. He went into the really nice house.
Yeah.
I remember that now. That was so funny.
He had the
then he goes
Noxzema
to the
cream
crappy
on.
place and like gets burnt like a lobster on the first day.
He's the best. God rest your soul, John Candy. Because we were going through the area of Santa Barbara that
so
is
many bad
Ellen
neighborhoods.
DeGeneres' house,
Oprah's-
Meghan Markle.
We were in Montecito,
Yeah.
but Santa Barbara was not good. But Montecito.
Well, listen, all in perspective. Santa Barbara's gorgeous. It's like, but Montecito's considered like the gem of Santa
Beverly
Barbara.
Hills.
Gorgeous. So you are going down the streets like, Rosie, oh my God, what did you book for us? And then you pull down this little street and you're like, is this a street? Where are we going? And we pull up
little
and there is
off-road.
like 4 teenagers in front of the house on bikes. We're like, it's not that one. So keep going. And I was kind of in my mind going really like, I'm kind of happy it's not that one because out of all the houses, like that's
the least desirable.
the least desirable one so far. And then we come around the corner and it's like, okay, good again. Which one is it? Which one is it? And her friend Stacy, who's like such a navigator, is like, no, I think it was the one back there. I'm like, but why were all those kids there? No, it's that one. So
We're like, why are there like 10 teenagers in the driveway?
they
Oh my God.
saw us and it was like
Skedaddled.
cockroaches when the kitchen light comes on. They skedaddled the hell out of there.
How much did you get paid to clean? I get paid $10. Have we done it yet?
Oh
No.
my-
Oh my God, we gotta get out of here.
Eddie just solved it. Eddie
Scatter.
just solved
They
it.
were the
Oh my God, I think
cleaners.
that is what happened.
Oh, they were the cleaners.
We're the teen cleaners.
She
Do we
literally was
clean?
like,
no,
the
we just
cleaners
get paid
might
and
not
run.
have left yet when you
The
arrived.
cleaners just left on their bicycles with braces. I mean, like, what? the
They're
hell?
like, good enough, spit and shine.
so we back
Where's
up.
the vacuum?
Goonies never
Don't
say
know. Doesn't
clean.
work. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
So we back up and we're like, and I remembered the picture from Airbnb. I'm like, Rose, I think that's the house because it has a very English garden vibe and a high hedge wall.
Yeah.
I like, a gnome type of cottage gate. And that's what it looked like. I'm like, oh my God. All right. Okay. Maybe we can make this work. So we find the key and we go in and it's like the smell of cat like instantly hit you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, it was bad.
And you need to really say like, we live here because there were 4 or 5 really creepy portraits of their children
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Oh my
was
God,
like
there were so many.
dozens.
staring with their blue eyes.
Like
there were
paintings and
Yeah,
then
the photographs were one
Photographs.
thing.
Paintings-
The
actually-
paintings were like Children of the Corn.
Yeah,
They
because
were,
Those were the creepy ones.
Yeah,
that
'cause-
kid looked very bug-eyed.
because actually the photos made me feel like I need to hang some photos in my house. Like I was
Those were like the black
Yeah.
and whites at
Yeah.
the beach in the park. But the oil
2 paintings,
paintings
yeah.
were like, oh no.
They
Like,
were.
Okay, we'll
They
tell
were a
you.
bit
We will
much.
tell you our theory on the house once we walked around and figured out. Okay, these people totally live here, and they totally have a cat. Where the cat is, where it's hiding for the weekend, or they maybe took it. So it was like, all right, and for sure. I mean, cat hair is still sort of everywhere. So you're like, I hope nobody has massive allergies to cats because it's gonna be a problem. So now I know I'm not getting the main suite. So I was like, well, Rosemary, go pick your great main suite. And it was definitely better than like the one that you and I were in, Katherine. But it still was super odd.
It was super odd. First of all, there were no window coverings.
Okay,
so
wait.
you're literally taking a shower.
Okay, that's the problem.
To the garden.
Did I ever review on another podcast what we're watching, the movie The Rental?
Oh my God.
The Rental? I don't think so. The
You've
Watcher
got-
we
John,
talked
no.
about, but not The Rental.
Has anybody else
Wait.
seen The Rental? I've seen
What's the
Rental.
Watcher? They rent an Airbnb?
No. It's a neighborhood and
Oh.
somebody's like
Oh, yes.
creeping out
For
on
sure
the
on
house.
Netflix. Yeah, now I remember. Yes, I remember. Yeah, okay.
The Rental is they rent.
That was with Jennifer
It should have been
Coolidge.
called Airbnb, but
They'd get
they probably,
sued.
yeah.
Okay, so
So
unfortunately,
that's the one with Allison Brie that I think
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, Dave Franco directed and the guy from The Bear was in, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Rosie and I did watch it, and soon as
And
she
that was a huge mistake
Yes.
because I stay in a lot of Airbnbs. And first of all, I don't like horror thriller movies. And Kirk's like, no, it's just a psychological thriller. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Killmonds
And like-
don't have that in their blood.
And
We
then
can't
about
handle
like
it.
halfway through, I'm like literally sweating and having heart palpitations. This is not a psycho thriller. This is actually people are being murdered. And I was like, I was so upset. And because it's like about an Airbnb, so it makes it like super freaky. And the end of it is the worst.
Oh,
too.
yeah. So imagine walking into this now little like cottage type of house, cat hair everywhere.
Like literally the doors don't lock. I was
Not
like,
really. They're very like one slight kick or nudge will get the cottage little old French doors open. So you're like, okay. And you're at the end of a weird cul-de-sac L, so you're very private. And we realized there are no
window coverings. None.
nowhere.
Like nothing.
Now the
Yeah.
best is then you realize if you get in the shower, which was a horrible shower, then instead of the typical small window, at the height of your head, It is like a full
panoramic of your body.
It is like all the way down to your waist. So at one point I turned down and I just was like, here's the tits neighborhood. Like I don't even know. It was so bizarre. Because once it got dark out, you're like, well, anybody could be looking in.
Oh my God. I got so paranoid. Like, so many times.
Wait, it's a great story. But I will say those teenagers, they did. We turned back around, you turned, and they were gone. Never to be seen again. So as Ed said, probably the cleaning crew. After we reviewed the house, Rosie took the main suite. Katherine and I got crammed into this very odd room that was like, well, we're not unpacking because she's decided that the closet's going to have a desk in it. So forget it.
That was dumb.
There's nothing, you couldn't hang anything. So we're sort of like, okay, all right.
But it was better than the other room, which literally had cowboy sheets. And that was not what it looked like in the picture.
Well, yeah, I know. Luckily, I'd gotten there early enough to be like, I'm taking this room for Katherine and I. Yeah, I was like, oh, God. So, and then, you were arriving a little later. It was sort of scattered arrivals. So where we were staying, I said, let's go to this really fabulous resort that we thought was right across the street. Let's walk. It's a beautiful neighborhood.
It is a beautiful neighborhood, but then you literally have to cross the 101 freeway.
Yes.
Like by foot. So there is a little precarious.
Yeah, there is a crosswalk, but it's like you got to go like 4 blocks up to cross. Where the resort is literally across the street practically from where we were. So that was a very nice, beautiful, fun afternoon. And it was almost Tiny Tim looking through the window. Can we stay here, ma'am? We don't want to leave, ma'am. Can I have more? You're like, crap. We're going back to our
Airbnb. Dirty.
So we all get there. Katherine arrives. You didn't go to the resort with us, so you arrived that night straight to the house.
Yeah, I came to the house maybe like 6:30, somewhere in there.
Time.
Yeah.
And we went out to dinner that night. Well, day drinking had already taken place. So then when you get to a restaurant and you got to wait 45 minutes.
So more drinking.
Mm-hmm. 2 of our party members were highly inebriated at this point. And then they go, your table's ready. And this, I will give it over to Rosemary to say this was the classic Rosemary scenario.
Oh, right. That I got at the end of the table with the most inebriated.
No.
Oh, which one?
Even worse. Your table's ready.
Oh, my God.
Let's take you outside and around the corner.
Next to the trash bin. I was like, outside, it smells like old fish, and I'm like, we literally are behind the glass, like where the door opens. We're like behind the door next to a trash can, and I was like, no.
No.
So we just waited 45 minutes for
this table.
It should have been.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Okay.
You are not.
Yeah, I'll do it for
literally,
that.
you're not even part of the restaurant at this point. And I guess it was because they were trying to put 2 tables together to seat us, and these 2 guys were not reading the room and were just lingering. So one of our boisterous party members basically went up to him and said, "Can I buy you a drink at the bar? Can you please get up and leave the table so they can?"
Because we're literally waiting on
your
you
dinner's done. You've paid your check. Like, get up and leave. Which I was like,
they're all
whoa.
mansplaining at this table. It was just like, come on, move along. Like, it was like,
and they were actually very gracious.
Best case scenario,
about it. Yeah.
an attractive woman just came up to you and asked you to buy drinks. Get up.
Yeah, they were very gracious about
they
it. They
did leave after that.
So then, yes, this is not necessarily, Rosie, you're like, where are you going to sit? It's like, yeah, okay, you had a lot of babysitting duties that weekend.
I did. I did. It was like tough. Because I think it'd been a lot of drinking that day, and it was like not everyone partook in food. And so by the time dinner rolled around, it was like, ooh, this is going down. This ship is sinking.
Rapidly. So
yeah, I was like, oh, she's taking a nap. Oh, she's up. She's taking a nap. Have some bread. What's happening over there? You might fall. Like, it was just like a lot.
I love when her food arrived. She goes, we already ate.
And like everyone at the table, like, flipped their heads towards her. I'm like, no,
we did not already eat. And then at some point, it is like, wrap it up, get the check, I gotta get the holiday. And she's like, I'd like another bottle of wine. Everybody's like, no.
Like in sync.
Unison.
Yeah, unison.
Because also, you got to get up the next morning. The car's going to be there at 10. So we get back to the house, and one of the girls is like, there's no curtains. There's no window treatments. We're like, yep. So I got to take a shower, and that's when I realized, like, the shower.
You were smart, though. You took the shower early. Like, I took a shower while everyone was getting ready for bed and flushing the toilet and using the sink.
No.
It was like hot, cold, hot, cold. I was like, oh, God. And then so I actually turned it off at some point because I heard something like outside and I was so paranoid that I turned off all the lights and like turned on my phone flashlight. And it was like this big old possum's like looking at me. I'm like, okay, it's just a possum. Like, I fully thought it was going to be like a murder.
Excuse me,
there.
I'm just a possum. Could you start the show again? Turn the lights on. This was really entertaining.
He's like, this was...
Use more soap, please.
He's like sitting on the lounge chair.
Possum's view was full boobage,
No,
full
God, it was
wet,
so
raggedy
gross.
hair. Now holding a cell phone looking out during the walk
It's like, you are weird.
to try to clock what was out there. And what were you going to do if it was the rental murderer?
Throw Stacy at him. I don't know. Like, she's like, I don't know. I was going to scream. I had my mace in my purse.
Oh my God, there's nothing you could do.
But you didn't have it with you because you were naked from the shower.
No, you're screwed. So the next
She
morning,
showers with her mace. Come on.
Oh,
I know.
That's
That's on me the whole time.
actually, that trip, I would have possibly considered it.
I was like, at some point during the second night, I got so paranoid. I don't know, something happened. And I was like, could not sleep. And I was like, I wish it was underneath my pillow. I'd feel safer. Like, because if somebody came up and was standing over me, I'd just like spraying on them or something. I mean, I'm like defenseless. Stacy's like passed out.
Oh,
I'm
you?
like,
I mean, I pass out on you too. You have
you're the worst. Like, literally, it's like the second we get into bed, it's like, I'm like, oh my God, she's asleep. What the fuck? I mean, one trip, I was up till the sun came up, and I'm like, that bitch has been asleep forever. And I was like, I'm like, I took Benadryl. I took, you know, like,
I felt really bad. Yes.
I took
Something was
everything.
going on.
I couldn't sleep. It was
I don't
horrible.
know. And so the next morning I was like, get up. Of course, the Killmond sisters there. It's like breakfast is being made and cleaning it up. And then, of course, it's like the car's there. And it's like, I got to get ready. But I literally gave you 45 minutes of like breakfast duty. So let me have a breather,
have
a
a
10-minute
moment.
window.
To put on some mascara.
But the
look
day was
cute.
super fun. Gorgeous weather. That's like your first official wine tasting day, right?
Yeah, I went years ago with my friend from high school when she got married. She had a wine tasting as her bachelorette thing.
Ooh.
But
cute.
I don't even remember the tasting part of it. So this was my first like real
And
in a
you
long time.
came prepared.
Oh my God, so funny. Yeah. So I realized a couple years ago that I have a bad reaction to wine. So I was stopping drinking wine. First, I stopped drinking red. Then I stopped drinking white. And I was so sad, whatever. And then I realized, oh, there's these things that you can put in your wine that will like, I don't know, something about the
Neutralize it or
tannins and the histamines and like suck them out. And it looks like a little tea bag. It's like a wine filter. But then that was one of the things when you guys invited me. I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do about my brilliant wine filters?
I go,
You can't-
just bring them. But it was so nerdy. I mean, my God.
I like didn't even notice.
Well, because
And I don't think you're the first person that's ever done that.
no,
way,
but
yeah.
it only really works on like a full glass of wine.
Oh
So
yeah,
for the
'cause
wine.
we're like 1 ounce, like suck the whole tea bag, like sucks up the whole thing. Oh my God.
So for the
Like, can I
wine,
get a
yeah.
double pour? They're like, no.
No, that's not how this works, lady. No, so for that, I realized, oh, there's this other thing where you can put these little drops in it. And I will say that shit is a miracle.
And
'Cause
you made us take a little pill too. Like a hangover pill.
I went to Sprouts and there's like a pill. What is it
Yeah.
All
called?
natural. I don't know. Some
I don't
like
know. I think
hangover
it's the
relief.
combo.
called
I felt
no
great.
hangover or something.
Yeah.
I know. Literally, I had no buzz the entire
Well, I
day. So I
also-
don't know if it's good or bad.
I also sent out
Yeah,
the memo like no one's getting a salad. I know there's salads on the lunch menu,
Get a
but everybody's
sandwich.
got to get bread.
Yeah.
Nobody's on their keto, whatever. Sorry, you need to
need some
actually carbohydrates in you. So the day was like really lovely, beautiful weather.
We
Absolutely.
had Rick.
Rick was our driver, and he
He's our driver. We all kept doing it like chickens in the back seat. Rick.
And then we got back to the house and we decided it's so beautiful out. Let's go on a walk in the neighborhood.
Oh my God.
And one of
yeah,
our
I
girlfriends,
forgot
like, we're
about
kind
that.
of buzzed. And it was like one of our girlfriends comes out and she's like carrying a Bud Light on the walk. I'm like, wow. I mean, you can keep going. All right. But it was kind of fun because
She transitioned to
yeah,
There was a
smart. I mean,
transition.
that
Okay.
was her move to keep up the energy. But like you're walking through these neighborhoods, and we really were trying to like spot a celebrity. They have no side. You know, it's a wealthy neighborhood when they really don't even have sidewalks. They do not want anybody walking in there.
Yeah.
Looking,
And it was
nothing.
hard to see some of the houses
Oh,
too.
yeah.
You're like,
Big
can we look
walls.
through the crack and the
Nope.
like
12-foot
gate,
hedges, like
you
what
know?
is happening here. So beautiful. Then we get back to the house, and the plan was, I said, we're not cooking dinner either night. I don't want to do it. And thank God, because that kitchen was not really conducive to that.
No, it was not
No,
really
it was
set up very
very
well.
dated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. The kitchen itself, but also all of the stuff that you would need. There weren't
No.
good pans. There weren't good, I don't know.
Let me just say, the house was probably a $2 million teardown. Like the neighborhood
Oh, the
is
neighborhood,
like
yeah.
$10 to $20 million houses, and this is the last.
And this
holdout.
was our
But
theory.
it was cute.
Yeah, and our theory was this,
But
because
not
there was
great.
one big
It
kind
was
of
like a bungalow size,
yeah,
too. It was
but there was
small.
one big main room. There was a little kitchen and then the bedrooms, and there was one big main room. And the pieces of furniture that were in that room, you could tell had a good life in a much bigger house at some point.
Yeah,
Like,
there
there's
was
been
also
a downsize.
there was
way
a-
too much furniture in there.
Either a divorce or something happened economically. It was like, well, we'll take these pieces of furniture and make them work. And it was like, everyone.
I think it was
I feel
definitely
like
a divorce.
it's a success story. They upgraded their actual house and moved their old good ass furniture into their rental house. And like,
But it was
this
all
can
a
be
little
there.
worn. But it was like there was all these pictures of the 3 children and not one of the parents. Not one.
Yeah, Rosie really
Love one
broke
or
it
the
down.
other. And I'm like, this is divorce because like you can't just cut the picture in half and then have it. I don't know.
Then we couldn't figure out if it was like the husband or the wife that had the house.
Yeah.
We really discussed it at times, but we didn't nail it down because we didn't go looky-looing in every drawer or anything like that. But yeah, just talking about like not having supplies, like, people are coming up there to spend like time and going to drink wine. There was like 2 decent wine glasses. It was like, come on.
I mean, have you broken like every
I don't
single one?
know, but so we decided we're going out to dinner that night, and we just kind of went someplace closer.
Yeah.
And some of us walked, some of us hopped in an Uber. It was really like the local little Mexican place. It was
There was like no one there.
yeah, but it was delicious. I think that area of Montecito.
This is always what happens too. Liz is like, that was the most delicious thing I've ever had. And I'm like, that was the most awful meal I've ever had.
You're a
like,
big orderer.
I am. I really try. But Catherine can attest. She had the same thing I did. The carnitas
was
were
dry.
so dry that I actually started choking on it. And you guys are all like, what's happening? I'm like, I'm choking on my dinner.
Oh my
hungry.
God, my shrimp tacos were perfection. I know, sorry. But my favorite moment is, people still order fajitas, but 2 of our girlfriends ordered fajitas, and they were not sitting next to each other.
So then I got the steam bath of fajitas. I was like, what? Can you 2 switch? And they're
And the
like,
best is
no,
our-
there's no need. I'm like, okay, I'm literally melting in your freaking
the
fajita
best
steam.
is Tina, who ordered the fajitas, they were put in front of her, and she was telling a story. And so, like, the story went on for another 5 minutes, and like you're looking through a haze of fajita steam at the story. You're like, break up, like just get the fajita going, like start eating it. It was so funny because fajitas always make me think of like Chili's or like TGIFs. Like it's a very like.
It's Chili's.
Oh, yeah,
that
the
used
famous-
to order it at Chili's.
Are we gonna chicken and steak? Are we gonna get all 3? You're gonna get just shrimp? Oh my God, the options.
sizzling
that was
fajita.
like their thing, Chili's.
Oh yeah. Now, my God, I think I might want fajitas.
I
Attila.
don't.
Well, wait.
Ever again.
Also, El Torito or Acapulco's or whatever, right?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
they used to do
I
it?
don't
Yeah.
know.
We ended dinner, but I was going to say, I think the area of Montecito is like an early dinner crowd. Like we were going to dinner at like 7 and thought we had to have reservations. The place was like empty.
Yeah.
But I think it's more like you're going to dinner like 5:30, 6 o'clock. Because it did seem a lot more active when we walked in.
Yeah.
By the time we were walking out, it was like crickets. So I said, hey, I've still got some energy. I'd like to go to downtown Santa Barbara and look around.
Yeah, I'm like, because this was not very exciting. Besides, quite a few people like pawing over our waiter, and I'm like,
Oh,
you
our waiter
guys,
was good
like,
looking,
He's
but
like
he-
the age of my son. So
Yeah,
that's
no, he for sure was like a young 20-year-old, probably college student in the area. So I was like, yeah, you're cute, but no. I'm not even going to remotely try to flirt with you. But he had a very unique name, Attila.
Attila. And we're like that.
And someone's like, are you named after Attila the Hun? You're like, okay, calm the F down. Like,
it was so
my God.
extra. Like if you weren't sitting next to me, I'd have him in that back room. I was like, I don't think
you
so.
wouldn't.
that ship
calm
has sailed.
down.
Not
Oh
on
my
a-
God.
I like the idea that his parents did like a 23andMe and figured out that they are one of the descendants. They're like, well,
Maybe.
we're going to name him Attila then.
Maybe.
That's the deal.
Maybe. So we headed to downtown and we had one extra person with us. And it was cold out, but it was Catherine's birthday. So
We're gonna power through it. It wasn't
Yeah.
that cold.
No,
I
it was all right.
fine.
It was kind of misty
I
at one
think we
point.
only had one person who was cold.
yeah, was not entirely prepared for walking the streets of Santa Barbara, which are now, they've closed off most of the streets because of COVID and
So much nicer.
just putting, seating outdoors, very festive. I guess it was alumni weekend, super happening, very fun. We had a great time. We danced.
Yeah. Jack was like, my son was like, wait, you went to State Street? It's a lot of young people. I was like, okay.
How rude.
I go, well, it was alumni weekend. And by the way, I felt like it was a good mix. Okay?
Yeah, I did not feel shockingly out of place.
No, I didn't at all.
No. So, yeah, we were having a good time, but it got cold and maybe we were too old. How dare you, Jack? So we decided to wrap it up. And there were like even heat lamps out on the street, right next to restaurants.
Yeah, for outdoor seating.
So we're like, all right, let's order the Uber back to the house. Once the Uber was ordered, our girlfriend was like, I'm going to go inside because I'm cold in this restaurant right here on the corner. And I sort of was like, I don't need to go inside. So I think
me and you were standing on the corner.
We hung
and
back.
Katherine kind of followed her in.
Because I looked at the restaurant through the window and I'm like, that's not a bar. That's like really like...
No, it was like a sushi restaurant.
Yeah, it was a restaurant.
It was a restaurant.
It was like a
wasn't
restaurant.
like a place that you just go and like stand in there.
Where there are bars everywhere where, of course, you just going in to get warm or stand there, you wouldn't be noticed. Like, you standing there, it's like you're only standing next to the table, people like sitting down eating their like kamachi roll. Like, This is weird. So I'm like, I'm going to stay here. But out of the corner of my eye, it's like I see the girlfriend being like intercepted by like what looked like almost like a bouncer, but this is a restaurant, and stopping her and saying, you can't come in here. And she's like, wait, what? And he goes, no, you're not coming in tonight. Katherine, you were there because you weren't beside her. You were like following her in.
I was kind of behind her a little
Right.
bit. Yeah. It was a weird interaction, I'll say that.
Yes.
He came out as she was coming up to the door, and I don't know if it was partly because she was cold or had been drinking or whatever, but there was a little bit of like her head was down and she was
She had
shuffling.
a big scarf on.
Yeah, she was shuffling a bit, and I think he clocked her pretty quickly and had decided she had the wrong vibe. Now, I don't know what he thought, if he thought she was drunk or homeless,
Well, he
or
said
I don't
she
know.
was drunk.
And
He
then,
said-
once he started talking to her, then he said that.
Yeah,
Which-
inebriated.
Yeah, he said, I'm not going to serve you. And she was like, I'm not saying I need to be served, or whatever she said. And he was like, no, you can come back tomorrow. And it went very badly, very quickly.
Very quickly. I was like, wait, what's going on?
I go,
and then I went
Rosie.
over there and I was like, Liz was like, go over there. And I'm like, let's just move along.
No, I grabbed you and I go, grab her, but we're not engaging. Because this is a restaurant. It would be so weird.
It's like if he's saying you can't come in, you can't come in.
Also,
Like-
it's not a place where you just go there and stand to get warm. Like, it's not that place.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh my gosh, can we get in the Uber and get the hell out of here? So then we get back to the house, and the girls I thought were going to be in bed were still up. So then we stayed up chatting for quite a while longer. And the next morning, it was very much a get up and let's just get the hell out of here.
It was impressive that some of the girls who had gotten quite drunk were able to just like get up and get dressed, and like I was like, wow, that's
I can really like bounce
yeah.
back. We went back to State Street and walked around and stuff.
Yes, in the daylight, it looked very different, and we had a lovely time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
had-
went and had lunch. That was nice.
I had to get my tie-dye.
Oh, that's
overalls.
right.
I was like, can we go back to State Street? I really want to get those.
You had
tie-dye
seen a
overalls.
pair of tie-dye overalls in the window and remembered the next morning, we're like, I want to go back and get
Well,
them.
because I was like pretty sober. Either I didn't drink that much,
Yeah.
or it was that pill.
Well, and it might have also been when you're wine tasting over the course of 3 or 4 hours, and it's just a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
You end up not
But
really
then
drinking
also,
that much.
like when somebody else is heavily inebriated, you kind of feel like you have to be like more. And I planned the weekend, so I kind of felt like I had to be a little more like keep things
Right. You
Yeah,
weren't being, like,
either
super
get
liberal.
on that
Yeah.
train or you have to be the conductor.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, I want to get on the train with you. But like, the catch up was like, I couldn't get the
I
momentum. It was
couldn't
like,
get it.
no. Oh, well. But it was still very fun. I mean, we had a good time.
We did.
And, Katherine, you did a great job.
You did.
oh, thanks.
I think everybody liked you.
Everybody
No one was
did.
annoyed by you.
No, I think you were excellent. in
You were a
the blind.
quiet sleeper next to me.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah. Oh, my God. I mean, with the no window treatments, our room was so incredibly
Oh, we both
bright.
woke up. Like the first morning we woke up
Like at 5.
like 2 inches from each other's
Sun's up.
face. And then with the sober, I was like, good morning. With our tooth guard thing, good morning. It was like, oh my God, this is.
Catherine have her like sleeping.
Of course.
I did not. I mean, I use a CPAP machine. I did not bring that. I was like, no, I can't do that. If I sleep on my side, I'm fine.
I don't think
but-
anyone would have known.
You had no impact noise wise for me. And like I said, it was just the first morning, like, Good Lord, it's so bright in
It
here.
did. It like the sun came up in my room.
So
at like
wait,
6.
I'll just wrap it up on this one story. So the second night, and it was kind of cold, and we had not packed accordingly. It was actually colder than all of us thought.
Yeah, because I think the weather had made us think it was going to be warm. It was not.
No, it was Rosie's prediction of weather. It was,
That's what it said.
it's gonna be in the 80s. It was like 62. No, just kidding.
It was pretty
It was
chilly.
cold. So I wore socks to bed. But the second night, I look over, I go, "What is that around your neck?" And she goes, "Oh, because I didn't bring a sleep mask. I don't normally travel with them. I didn't think of it. It was dumb of me." So, Katherine, what did you have?
It's like one of those. I don't know what it's called, but
Like
it's
a
like
rash guard.
Yeah, it's just like a little around your neck, almost like just
Neck
the
gaiter.
turtle. Yeah, just the neck part of the turtleneck.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. Yeah, and it's just fleece. It's like I keep it in my purse in
That's
case
called a
I'm
gaiter.
like, yeah.
No, but what
What?
did you do with it?
Well, it was so bright. I was like, I can't. So I just put it over my head and pulled it down over my eyes. I must have looked crazy.
Oh my God, I had a sleep mask.
yes. Thank you for offering it.
didn't know
You
you
said that the
needed.
second day, the second morning, I'm like bleary eyed. But I look over at Katherine at one point, and it's his head just walking around, like half of it missing. I'm like, what the hell am I looking at? And she's like, but you slept through the morning. I, of course, woke up the second morning like, it's 5:55. Oh my God.
Yeah,
it's
it worked great. It was very dark in there.
But it was very fun. I mean, I don't know if you'll make the trip next year because the
Well,
person
if
might
the
be
full
back.
if the full group of
I don't
6,
know.
I'll understand if I'm on the outs.
But it
I
was
get it.
awesome. So we had
was so
fun.
fun.
Yes. So we encourage you traveling with your own siblings.
Incorporate.
Yes, it's always an adventure to go, and wine weekends. Usually there's some good stories that come out of it. So why not, So we appreciate you listening to Family Dynamics. Follow us on all of our social, which is at Family Dynamics with a K, and listen to our podcast wherever you
Get podcasts.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Rosie.
No problem.
So thank you for listening to
Family Dynamics.
Okay, that was terrible.
Nailed it.
No, I was doing the wrong
That's
one. No, I
going
was
in
doing
the
the wrong
episode
podcast. Okay. We're huge fans. Oh my God. What podcast are we doing? Okay.
So thank you for listening to what
Family
we
Oh my
Dynamics.
God. I almost said when we were watching
I
it.
know you did.
me too.
Okay, wait. Don't. Okay, do it.
Thank you for
Family Dynamics. Okay, go.
Thank you for listening to
Family
Dynamics.